The film opens with a girl standing alone on the beach, far from the watchtower, when she sees a huge dog running towards her. She tried to escape and run towards the watchtower to hide, but it was too late and the dog was able to kill her. After that, her burial ceremony was held, and her grandson Jonas was present with his father. 4 months later, the Jonas family was driving their car on the road, but suddenly they saw a speeding car driven by a woman heading towards them. Jonas's family car crashes into a tree. This accident leads to the death of Jonas's parents. The closest person to Jonas was his girlfriend Nina, who knew that Jonas wanted to travel outside the city where they lived, because he had no one left to live with him and he wanted to go to his aunt. His grandfather Friedrich came to him and told him that he was free to stay in his home until he was 18 years old, and then he would be free to make his own decision. He was happy about that and decided to stay. A year later, Jonas was with his friends while they were going to school. They found that there is a new teacher named Helena who will teach them the German language because their previous teacher was involved in an accident, and she will teach them until their teacher returns. She took the first lecture on the beach. After the lecture ended, she told the students that she was moving to this city and would need some help moving her things. Jonas, Nina, and Florian volunteered to help her and go to Helena's house. They set up the closet and also put the carpet on the floor. Then Nina entered the warehouse by chance. She found that the teacher was in the same country where their German teacher was, but she did not pay any attention to that. By mistake, Nina hurts her foot, so they have to take her to the hospital. Helena stayed at her house. She went into the warehouse to take a box that she had hidden so that no one would see it. She took out what was inside the box. Surprisingly, the box contained a large collection of pictures of Jonas. She looks at the pictures and then burns them. The next day at school, she asked them to write a poem and submit it the next day. Nina fails to write a poem, so she asks Jonas for help because he loves poetry and writing. He actually helped her do that, and the next day she read the poem. After the lesson ended, Helena asked Jonas to talk to him alone. She told him that his writing style was so special that she knew that the poem that Nina read was written by him. She asked him to present the rest of his poems to her, for her to evaluate. He went home to her and brought with him a collection of poems. She changed her clothes in front of him, and it seemed as if she wanted to seduce him. Then she read his poems and pretended that she was so moved that she started crying. They approached each other and started exchanging kisses. The next day, they were on their way to school. He was afraid of what he had done, but she told him that he was an adult and that what happened between them was a beautiful thing. At school, Nina notices that there is a suspicious relationship between Jonas and the teacher due to Helena's actions. After several days had passed, a seminar was held in the school. Friedrich was the chair of the symposium, and he began to talk about the story of his struggle against the government over the school closure issue. As he speaks, he looks at Helena and seems as if he recognizes her. He feels dizzy and falls to the ground. Jonas runs towards him to help him. Friedrich looks again, but does not see Helena because she has left. Nina noticed what happened between Friedrich and Helena. After Friedrich left the house, Nina was with Jonas at home. She asked him if there was a previous relationship between Friedrich and Helena because she believed that something had happened before his grandfather lost consciousness. But Jonas did not believe that Helena had anything to do with what happened to his grandfather. This angers Nina, so she leaves. She felt like someone was watching her when she left the house. She walked and was afraid. Helena was waiting for Nina to leave. She went into the house and slept with Jonas. In the morning, she woke up to get out of the house before anyone saw her, but Nina was hiding behind the car and saw her. She went home and found that the door was open, and she understood that the teacher was with Jonas, so she left. After that, Jonas wakes up and goes to check on his grandfather. He asks him if he knows Helena, but his grandfather denies knowing her. In the school library, Nina was searching through the school teacher's books from previous years in order to uncover any relationship that might link Jonas's grandfather and the teacher. She found a girl who looked like Helena and had the same haircut as the one she had at the symposium, and she was called Maria. Suddenly, Helena comes. Nina tells her that she knows that the German language teacher was traveling to the same country she came from because she saw the suitcase with the name of the country she came from written on it. She told her that she had definitely done something to the German teacher to take his place and get closer to Jonas. Helena could not control her temper and attacked Nina, strangling and killing her. She suddenly heard the voice of Jonas, who was looking for Nina. She went to him and asked him why he was late for school. He told her that he stayed stayed with his grandfather to check on him. He asked her about Nina. She told him that she had just left the library. She returned to the library and started crying because of what she had done. She hid the body with a curtain. She left the library. After work ended, she took the body out the back door of the school and put it in the car. She also took Nina's bicycle. After that, she threw the body somewhere far away and returned to her home. She found that Friedrich had come to her house, but she refused to open the door for him. Even though she knew that he had seen her through the window, she was deliberately not opening the door for him. At night, she would prepare narcotic pills and grind them. After that, she receives a text message from Jonas, who asks her to come to him at his family's house. He sent her the home address. She went to him, and he told her that Nina was missing and that he was worried about her. She tried to reassure him and tell him that she might have disappeared because she loved him and felt jealous, so she disappeared from him and would return after a while. He carries the guilt himself. He told her that what happened between them was wrong and should not have happened. She pretended to be upset. He tried to apologize to her. They actually spent the night together. After that, he returns to his grandfather's house. The next day, his grandfather woke him up and told him the terrible news. They found Nina's body thrown on the seashore. He and his grandfather ran to verify what they heard. They actually found Nina dead. Friedrich could not bear the shock of the news and fainted. He suffered a heart attack and had to stay in the hospital. The doctor asked Jonas to go too and get some rest, but he continued to cry because he was sad about the loss of his friend, and he does not believe that she died by drowning. Rather, he believes that someone killed her. He starts searching the last place Nian was. They searched the library, pulled out all the information of the school's previous teacher staff, but they found that a paper had been cut from inside the book. So they turned to the school computer to see the entire school staff. At the same time, Helena was going to visit Friedrich in the hospital. She told the receptionist that she was his daughter and wanted to check on him. She entered his room. He recognized her. She told him that he definitely remembers Maria when he sees her because Maria is her mother. She told him that she was with her mother when she went to meet him and that she had been waiting for her mother for a long time to return to her, but she did not return. She remembers this day well. Even though she was only 4 years old, she was waiting for her mother to return, but police cars approached the place and they found her mother's body in the sea. From that moment on, she decided to take revenge on him by killing his entire family. We discover that she is behind the death of his wife when she let the dog kill her, and she is also the one who caused the death of his son and wife. Her remaining target is only Jonas. Jonas was looking for Helena but did not find her at her house. He returns to his grandfather's house and sleeps. The next morning, he woke up to Helena's voice telling him to open the door. She told him that she had spoken with the hospital administration to have his grandfather receive medical care at his home instead of the hospital. He asked to speak to her alone. He told her that her mother, Maria, worked at the school and he wanted to know what his grandfather's relationship was with that. He receives a call from his friend Flo. She asks him to answer the phone call and she will prepare coffee and then tell him everything. She makes coffee and puts drug powder in it. Then she placed Friedrich's bed in front of the window to let him see what would happen to his grandson. She gives him coffee. He drinks the coffee. Then she started telling him that her mother loved this city very much and that she loved Friedrich, and they entered into a relationship. They gave birth to her, meaning she was his aunt, but from a different mother. Then she told him that his grandfather had killed her mother because she asked him to acknowledge her daughter Helena, but he decided to kill her. Jonas feels dizzy and falls to the ground. His grandfather was watching what was happening, and he had convulsions and fell to the ground. Then she takes Jonas to the pool. She tells him that she only drugged him. Then she starts to drown him, but he resists her and gets out of the pool. He hit her and ran quickly towards the house. He found his grandfather lying on the ground, but before that, Helena attacked him and tried to strangle him. But he grabbed a piece of glass and killed Helena with it. In Friedrich's hand was a letter from Maria. In the letter, she had told him that she was going to kill herself because she had tried all the solutions to make him agree to recognize her daughter, but he refused. This is what Friedrich wanted to tell Helena, because he did not kill her mother, but he could not, because it was too late. Jonas decided to leave